Thanks for clicking the link and coming to this channel. I strive to provide you with up-to-date, direct and to the point market information and data so you can make the best decisions for yourself and your family to reach your real estate goals. The topic of today, inflation and home ownership. So inflation is that prices are going up. The prices of clothes, of products, of groceries, of gas are increasing. Now, that's true. So housing is, according to Rick Holtz, housing is one of the most effective hedges against inflation. Investing is not just about building wealth, it's also about not destroying wealth. Even a small return above the rate of inflation over the long term on a place you would like to live in is always a pretty sweet deal. Another quote, Investopedia says, real estate is one of the time-honored inflation hedges. It's a tangible asset, and those tend to hold their value when inflation reigns, unlike paper assets. More specifically, as prices rise, so do property values. In other words, if you have cash, the amount in your savings account is super low in comparison to the rate of inflation right now. So if there's inflation and you have cash, the value of your cash is actually going down in value, whereas real estate is going up in value. So here's home ownership, a hedge against inflation graph. It shows on the left side the inflation rate each decade average with the home price appreciation on the right side. And you can see in every decade, except for in the 2000s, the value of properties appreciated at a lesser extent, and also in 1980s, than inflation. So if you invest your money into a property, the property goes higher than the rate of inflation, so it's a good investment. Okay. Also, according to Bankrate, a fixed rate mortgage allows you to maintain the biggest portion of housing expenses at the same payment. Sure, property taxes will rise and other expenses may creep up, but your monthly housing payment remains the same. That's certainly not the case if you're renting. In other words, in year one of your housing payment, you're paying a certain amount. If you have a fixed rate mortgage, in year 30, you're paying the exact same amount. So while everything else is going up in price, groceries, gas, everything's going up, utilities, your housing payment remains the same if you have a fixed rate mortgage. That's an advantage. Whereas you're renting always goes up. The appreciation of rent, comparison to inflation, it kind of keeps with the rate of inflation. Most years it goes higher than the rate of inflation, and actually some years it's actually lower. It's been a couple of years actually been lower over the last 57 years. But rental pricing kind of like goes with the rate of inflation, actually higher than home price appreciation. Actually, I'm sorry. So that's negative for a renter. According to Forbes, homeowners are shielded from mounting rental prices because of their fixed costs. Already went over that, regardless of what's happening in the market. So in year one, in year 30, you have the same exact mortgage payment, regardless of what's happening. Tangible assets like real estate get more valuable over time. It means even though you're paying a small amount on your mortgage payment, the value of your property is going up. Okay, which makes buying a home a good way to spend your money during inflationary times. So here's a quote according to Zonda. If you have cash and are expecting inflation, you want to think through where you can put your money so it does not lose value. Housing is commonly looked at as a good inflation hedge, especially with interest rates so low. So if you have cash, let's say you have $25,000, just to say, with an interest rate of 0.5%, over the year, you're going to gain $125, which is very low. Whereas if you take that $25,000 or $5,000 and you put it down on a $100,000 home, let's say conservatively, the $100,000 home appreciates 1 year 5% to 105. What that means is the value of your property increased by $5,000 with an investment of just $25,000. That's a 20% rate of return compared to 0.5%. If you would have put $5,000 on a $100,000 home, you got a 100% increase in value in comparison to the 0.5%. That right there shows the value of buying real estate now. So thank you for coming to my channel. As usual, if you have curiosity about your property's value, pay $600 for an appraisal for an opinion of value. Go to Zillow and look at the estimates that cause them to abandon their iBuying program and lay off 9% of grocers, or call me for a free qualitative quantity analysis, no obligation. Click sell for top dollar if you want a strategy that has worked in various neighborhoods throughout the county to set price records. Click off market properties if you'd like to know about properties before they hit the open market. If you're looking at buying out of state, I have a network of plenty of realtors eager to show you properties or send you properties before they hit the open market. So any real estate questions, it's free, no obligation. Feel free to call, text, or email. You have a great day.